Detroit.
We told you Friday that a U.S. drone strike killed the man who influenced the so-called underwear bomber. Cleric Anwar al-Awlaki was the head of al-Qaeda in Yemen. But was this killing different than that of the other 53 terrorists killed by the U.S. government in drone strikes? Ben has the reality check.
Well, it was back in April. In fact, it was one of the very first reality checks I did here at Fox 19. I talked about the attempted execution of Cleric Anwar al-Awlaki, who was in Yemen. At the time, I told you that al-Awlaki was a U.S. citizen, born in Las Cruces, New Mexico. He lived in the U.S. until he was 7 years old. His family then returned to their home country of Yemen.
The death of al-Awlaki is a major blow to al-Qaeda's most active operational affiliate.
Well, that is true. Al-Awlaki was the head of al-Qaeda in Yemen, and after the death of Osama bin Laden, al-Awlaki was the most influential leader in al-Qaeda. U.S. intelligence say that he was the one who influenced the Fort Hood shooter, Major Nadal Hasan. They also say he influenced the wannabe Christmas Day underwear bomber, and the foiled Times Square bomber last year, also reportedly influenced by al-Awlaki.
They've been tracking him for months. In fact, in May, the president put out an executive order saying he could be killed or captured. It's the first time we've done that with a U.S. citizen.
And that is also true. Al-Awlaki was, until his death Friday, a United States citizen. And killed with him during that bombing, a second U.S. citizen who published a jihad newsletter. It is true that both men could be regarded as enemies of the United States. But does the government deciding you are an enemy of the state mean that your rights under the Constitution are suspended? Neither of these men were killed on a battlefield. As U.S. citizens, they were not charged with any crimes. They were not indicted by a grand jury. They were not given a military tribunal. Instead, the president ordered their deaths without any due process. And that due process is not just some good idea. It's the very structure of our Constitution. This targeted assassination program started under President Bush and has greatly expanded under the Obama administration.
There's so much that's unconstitutional. Somebody said, would you be able to vote to impeach that? I said, I probably would have been able to impeach all the presidents.
But that is not going to happen. Republican presidential candidate Ron Paul, one of the lone voices challenging this action, alluding to the fact that the president ordering the death of any American citizen violates the Constitution and could be an impeachable offense. Paul, by the way, though, acknowledged that there would not be any kind of support for that action in the U.S. Senate. So here's what you need to know. The Fort Hood shooter, Major Nadal Hasan, is a U.S. citizen. He actually shot and killed people in cold blood at Fort Hood, but was not executed. He gets a trial. The man who influenced him, also a U.S. citizen, is killed without due process, simply by order of the president. And because the information against him is classified, no one, not even U.S. courts, can even see the evidence of why he had to be killed. You see, this issue isn't about Anwar al-Awlaki. It's not about President Bush. It's not even about President Obama. It's about a nation's constitution that keeps that kind of power out of the hands of one man for a reason. And that is Reality Check.
If you'd like to make your voice heard on the story, you can comment on Ben's Facebook page. Just search Ben Swan, WXIX.